Alright, welcome back to your favorite Algebra 2 course, Intermediate Algebra. Adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials is what we're going to talk about today. Adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. Okay, so let's take a look at adding polynomials first. And we're going to do all these horizontally. Okay, so let's look here at our first example. Let's say we got x cubed plus 6x plus 4. Let's say we got this polynomial here, this cubic polynomial, degree 3. We're going to add in, let's go negative 6x cubed plus a 2x squared minus 9x minus 2. Let's see, we got that, okay? Well, we're going to, you guys have already done a little bit of this kind of work, so this may be a little bit of a review, but we're going to go ahead and distribute that positive 1 there in front so we can drop those parentheses. So positive 1 times that negative 6x cubed, of course, is negative 6x cubed. Positive times a positive, positive 2x squared, right? And again, a positive, let me erase that, sorry. A positive times that negative 9x, and finally minus 2, right? So that plus in front there doesn't change any of those signs. Then we combine any like terms we got. So you see how you got 1x cubed minus 6x cubed. Of course, 1 minus 6 is a negative 5x cubed. Right? Now we look for any x squares. It looks like this is our only x squared. So we go a plus 2x squared. See if we got any something x. It looks like we do right there. 6x minus 9x. 6 minus 9 is negative 3x, right? And finally a 4 minus our 2, so our constant there on the end. 4 minus 2 is 2. So there it is. That's how you add polynomials. Let's go ahead and subtract some now. So let's say we got 3x to the 4th. Let's see here. Bend down a little bit. Plus 9x cubed plus 2. And we're going to take that polynomial. We're going to subtract 2x to the 4th. Plus 2x minus 4. Okay, let's do that one. Here's our problem. I'm going to go ahead and distribute that minus to each of those. Okay, drop our parentheses. So 3x to the 4th plus 9x cubed plus 2 minus 2x to the 4th minus 6x cubed now minus 2x, and of course a negative times a negative 4 is a plus 4 on the end. Go ahead and combine like terms just like we did last time. 3x to the 4th minus 2x to the 4th. 3 minus 2 is 1x to the 4th. We got a 9x cubed minus 6x cubed, so we got 3x cubed. Let's see, any x squares, doesn't look like it. So the next one is this minus 2x right there, so minus 2x. And then we do have a constant, looks like plus 2, plus 4, so plus 6 on the end. So there it is, x to the 4th plus 3x cubed minus 2x plus 6. Okay, so there you go. There's adding and subtracting polynomials horizontally, and that's how we're going to approach each of these, is to do so horizontally. Let's go ahead and multiply some polynomials horizontally now. Let's multiply polynomials. So let's multiply polynomials horizontally. Okay, so we got this, let's say we got x minus 2. So we got this binomial times the trinomial 3x squared minus x plus 5. So that quadratic right there with 3 terms. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to take this x and we got to multiply it by each of these. Okay? And then we're going to take that negative 2, that minus 2, and we're going to multiply it by each of these. You know, it's very similar to, if you remember with FOIL, we had to take, let's say we had that, we took the x times each of those terms, right? First outer, inner, last, and then we took that -2 times each of those terms, if you remember that. Okay, so it's a similar process here. It's just that this time you have a binomial in front, that x minus 2, and then you got three terms that you're multiplying that by. That trinomial 3x squared minus x plus 5, right? That trinomial of degree 2, right? Quadratic. So let's take the x through. X times 3x squared, that's 3x to the third, right? X times a -1x is a -1x squared. X times a +5 is a 5x. Now let's take that -2 times 3x squared, -6x squared. -2 times -x, positive x. -2 times a +5, -10. Okay, we go ahead, we combine any like terms we got. Looks like this is our only cubic, so 3x cubed, right? -x squared minus 6x squared, so there's our -7x squared. Looks like we got a 5x plus a 1x, so plus 6x, and finally a -10 on the end. Okay, so that is how you multiply polynomials. So you take that x through to each of those terms, you take the -2 through to each of those terms, and then you combine like terms at the end there. Okay, let's try another one. But let's have three binomials be multiplied. So let's say you got x plus 2. Let's multiply it by x minus 1 and x minus 3. Okay, so how are you going to go about doing this? Well, the first thing you want to do is you just take the first two and go ahead and FOIL those. Okay, and forget about the x minus 3 for just a minute. So we got x times x squared, x times that -1, -1x, 2 times x, positive 2x, and finally 2 times -1, -2. Leave the x minus 3 there for a minute. Go ahead and combine those like terms there. Okay, so we're at this point right here, right? Now you notice you got this trinomial here. You got three terms. You got this binomial here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I always like to take the x. You know, I like to take my binomial and take each of those terms through to that trinomial, if you will, just like we did up above. Okay, except this time the binomial's on the end, right? So I take the x through to each of those, and then I'm going to take the minus through to each of those. Okay. Now, if you want to, some students like to go like this, and they'll take that one through to each of those. Then they'll take the x through to each of those, and then they'll finally take the -2 to each of those. And guess what? Once you combine like terms, you'll end up with the exact same thing. Okay. So whichever way you want to do this is totally fine. But I'm going to stick here with my first one. So I take the x through, so x times x squared, there's our x cubed, right? X times that, you know, right here is what the one I'm looking at now, x times x squared, and then I'm looking at the x times -2, -2x, okay? Now let's do the -3 here. So let's go -3 times x squared, -3x squared. Let's go -3 times x, -3x. Let's go -3 times the -2 plus 6, okay? Combine any like terms. Well, x cubed is all alone. X squared minus 3x squared, so 1 minus 3, -2x squared. Now I got a minus 2x. I got a minus 3x, so minus 5x. And finally that plus 6. Doesn't look like there's any other constants there. Okay, and you might try that other way if you would like. And of course you should end up with x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay. Let me find another one here. Okay. Say we got, what if you had CD minus 4 to the third? Okay. So that would be CD minus 4, and you got it 3 times, don't you? CD minus 4, you got CD minus 4. Okay. So again, you're going to FOIL, right? You just take it just like that other one. So you got CD times CD, that's C squared D squared. Now CD times that -4, so those outer ones, minus 4 CD. Now you got this inner, -4 CD, another one. And finally -4 to -4 plus 16. Of course we got this CD minus 4 still, right? combine those. So c squared d squared minus 8cd plus 16. You still get the cd minus 4, right? Now you take that one through to each of those. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the minus 4 through to each of those, right? So cd times c squared d squared, that's c cubed d cubed. cd times negative 8cd, negative 8c squared d squared. And 16 times cd plus 16cd. Now let's do that negative 4 through to each of those. So minus 4c squared d squared. Negative 4 times negative 8 plus a 32cd. And finally, negative 4 times a 16, what's that, negative 64? Okay, combine any like terms, so c cubed d cubed is all alone. See if there's any more of those c squared d squared. Negative 8 minus 4 looks like there is. Negative 12 c squared d squared. I got a 16 cd plus 32 cd, so there's a 48 cd, and then I'm left with that minus 64 on the end. Okay, so c cubed d cubed minus 12 c squared d squared plus 48 cd minus 64. Okay. Now there's one more. Actually, that's it. So we'll call it good there. That's how you're gonna go about multiplying and adding polynomial. I'm sorry, adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials.